The failure to recognize that performance evaluations that are inflated, inaccurate performance evaluations, can have a tremendously negative effect on internal affairs operations, right? So I'm going to give you the very short version of this, which is that we can have internal affairs investigations where we sustain a complaint. We sustain a complaint. We have a 2-day suspension. We sustain a complaint. Meets expectations. Good job this year. And then we do it again and we do it again. Goofy imagery here maybe, but hopefully it makes the point. Those sustained complaints, the formal counseling memos, right? The discipline. What happens at the end of the year when we say, you did a good job this year, you met our expectations? We just wiped the slate clean. And so that often comes up in that balancing act, in these tough investigative contexts where people say, I can't believe we're not able to permanently terminate this individual from the organization. You know, we've been through this so much. And actually the issue is that we have an agency where so often we are doing so much good work on the IA side, but the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing. You with me? The left hand being the Internal Affairs Division, the right hand being the first line supervisors, and it's as if there's parallel universes. It's downright schizophrenic. We've got an officer who is involved in this who has multiple suspensions for several weeks total, right? Something around a month worth of suspensions that year, and still got to meet expectations. How does that work? How can you be suspended on multiple allegations for a total of a month and still have a good year of meets expectations? And the assistant chief again said, well, what does performance evaluations have to do with internal affairs? What does it have to do with discipline? Those are two very different systems. And I thought to myself, well, with all due respect, assistant chief, that's exactly the problem, is that we don't recognize that our first line, our mid-level supervisors, whether it's performance evaluations or so many other things that they do on a regular basis, that's part of IA operations. Supervision, that's part of IA operations, internal affairs. Sorry to get too big picture on you and back to Webster's dictionary definitions. Internal affairs, let's deal with this internally. If we don't deal with performance issues, if we don't deal with misconduct, if we don't deal with those things internally, it will be dealt with for you by the outside. And the line has never been longer out the door and around the block of people that are ready to be your internal affairs division, ready to be your IA operations, if you're not engaged in it. I think it's a very easy temptation, and I could go through a laundry list of different agencies, but the IA crisis occurs, the police misconduct, the failure to intervene in 100 different ways, substance abuse, use of force, tampering with evidence, dereliction of duty, you name it. And the instinct seems to be, in all too many cases, we're going to change the name of internal affairs. We're going to change who's in charge of it. We're going to move these things around. But all too often, I don't think there's enough concentration and focus on the underlying issue.